I'm Pete Fletcher, and I run Black Bay Studios. It's a residential recording studio on a little island called Great Bernera in the Outer Hebrides. I think it's incredibly important to have facilities that are of real top standard, top level facilities that people can easily access in the local community, so that the bands and artists that are working from here don't have to fly out to Glasgow or to London to work, and that we can work in a much more kind of continuous fashion with people that are based here, so that it can be several sessions that are spread out over time, so it can be more like a development for local artists than just a one shot at a big occasion in a studio and then back home. But also it's just an incredible place to work. So for people that aren't from here, arriving here is it's like coming to a different world, and it's such an just to reset and to be somewhere different is such an inspiration in itself. Working residentially is so different to turning up at a studio for the day and then going home at the end of the day. I mean, for starters, there's you just have much more time. In fact, you have more time than you're able to really go at. So often, a studio environment can be quite high pressured. It's it's an expensive place to be. You have got a lot of things to do in a limited time, and that pressure isn't good for creativity. Whereas in a residential space, you can you can have dinner and have a glass of wine, and then think, actually, should we go back and do some more work? Or you can start in the morning, or you can start later on, and you can just you can just go with wherever the creativity is taking you, or you can go out for a walk and then come back and carry on working. And it's just a very different pace, and because of that, it's a very different experience creatively. It's a great way to work. And also, after a few days, you really can start to indulge and get really inside a project that you're just immersed in all the time, and some amazing things can happen when you get into that state that you just don't experience in most studio sessions. You can have some real moments of magic that and that's really what you're waiting for. It's like you're fishing. You're waiting for that big fish. So the more you're there, the better chance you've got. Basically, we wouldn't be here at all without Highlands and Islands Enterprise. They've been more than instrumental in what we're doing. Like initially, from early discussions when we're saying this is what we wanted to do, the level of encouragement and support that we got at that point really gave us the energy and the confidence that we needed to really pursue it, and then beyond that to really encourage us to do really a great job with what we're doing, to push us to probably to do more than we would have done. And then obviously the funding support as well. It's we definitely wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for Highlands and Islands Enterprise. Definitely not. I think that in some ways the scene is is a reflection of the islands in general, and it feels at the moment like it needs support, and it needs there's an incredible amount of talent here in terms of musicianship is very strong. Like, music is a really important thing locally. There's a lot of people go down a kind of a musical path, but I think perhaps more support is needed at the moment to really get from those kind of grassroots levels to kind of the next stage. I mean, it is a challenging place to be. I mean, it's a challenging environment globally at the moment to be a new artist trying to get a foothold in the industry. It's so challenging, and then there's some additional challenges to being kind of like geographically stuck out. Just doing a few shows in London is a really big deal if you live here, whereas it's not for somebody else, or getting to Inverness. So it does need that additional support, and that's one of the things we're able to do here is to try and help the scene a bit. There was actually there was a hub for music here anyway. So Keith at We Studios, and there's other things that are already happening, and Lanta, and other venues and things. So I think I don't feel like we're that we've come in and become the hub, but I think we're a really useful addition to the facilities that were already here, and we've been able to extend what the islands are able to deliver. So we work really closely with everyone here that was already doing stuff in the scene. It's been a kind of a collaboration of people that are already here. I've wanted to build a residential studio for a very long time. It's been, I've had studios before and worked in management and other, arts management and other things, but the residential studio has really been the thing I've wanted to do. And when the opportunity came to move here, it looked like there was an opportunity to build a residential studio, and it seemed like it might be possible. And I think if I looked at other opportunities that come up in the past, and it didn't look like it was possible. And it's just like the mixture of the environment and the property as well that's available here, and the just the uniqueness of the place just meant we thought it might be doable. So that we came and tried to do it, and thanks to Highlands and Islands Enterprise and other partners, we were able to do it. It's a really exciting time, and the access to the industry is actually amazing here, and in some ways it can be better here than it is in a big city when you're just lost amongst another 100 artists that are all trying to get ahead. I think if you can produce something of real quality from here, or from the Highlands in general, then you've kind of got an opportunity to stand out. And then with the level of support that's available, it really feels like you've got access to the industry directly, with some really big names, people coming up and that get involved with the likes of XpoNorth and things. That there is a great infrastructure here to become an artist from. It's a great place to base yourself.
I'm John MacDonald. I'm a development manager with Highlands and Islands Enterprise, based in Stornoway and covering the whole of the Outer Hebrides. I think it's a hugely important sector. That a lot of people are involved in the creative industries, and it covers such a broad range of activity. I think it's hugely important to have a wider range of assets as we can, and having a recording studio of this nature in this location is just fantastic. To have this quality of facility in the area, hopefully being able to attract more renowned artists to be able to come here and appreciate the area, as well as the facilities on offer. I think it'd be hugely important for the area. There's been a lot of collaboration in the area, and I think it's hugely encouraging to see that people's complementary skills are being utilised to best effect, and I think it's hugely beneficial for the area.
My name's Tamzene. I'm an artist from the east coast of the Highlands of Scotland, and I'm 21, been pursuing music for the last few years. So we've come over to record some acoustic live videos in the beautiful setting that is the Isle of Lewis. I think it's an incredible asset. I can't believe that we've got such a gem in such a rural, rustic place, but also a place with so much talent and so much music at the heart of it anyway. Driving here, you don't imagine that you're going to go and make music, but it's so peaceful and tranquil, so it makes all the difference having a space like this with so much natural light and so much nature around you. Super inspiring. I mean, having the space obviously being so rural, I think it brings a certain energy into a group of people, especially if you're meeting people for the first time. The kind of just the energy and the bonding that goes on when you're all in such a beautiful and rural place is quite unique, I think. I mean, there's so much potential in the youth or in these areas. So to have the scene and to have places like this to kind of spur that scene on is super important. But I think that it's growing, and it's only going to get better with incredible facilities like this. as people start to hear about it and utilize it, then that excitement and kind of passion for taking music further in these communities will just grow. Yeah, I think it's incredible how the Highlands and Islands Enterprise has such an incredible diverse range of support systems for youth in these areas. It's so important, and you just don't know what it would look like without those kinds of structures.